Okay, so today we're going to talk about copywriting. So essentially, the moment that you create an original work and just like write it down, it's effectively already copyrighted, which means, your draft in Google Docs, your poem, your artwork, what have you, it's all copyrighted. So you don't need to register for a copyright in order to have copyright, but registration gives you legal power, which is important. So essentially, registering your work with what's here is the US Copyright Office. Important for various reasons. It provides proof of ownership, it provides a public record of authorship. You can sue for infringement if somebody tries to steal your story or your work. It allows for an eligibility status for damages and attorney fees, and it essentially gives you leverage in case someone steals or republishes your work without your permission. If you do not register, you still own it, but that enforcement just becomes so much harder. So it is in your best interest if you are able to try to log this with sort of a government agency. So you can register short stories, you can register books, you can register poetry, you can register pretty much anything. You create an account at the Copyright Office. I navigate right over here. It's like ECO, it's really hard to find whenever you're looking for it. Don't know why they do that. These sort of warnings come up on almost every single government website. Sometimes I try to maybe go to a library just in case it gives them extra access that I don't want them to have, but for our purposes and because everybody has anything anyways, I'm just gonna say okay. You create your user ID and login. I'm not gonna do that right here, and then that'll get you in. Once you get onto this website, you can do a couple of things. You can register a group of unpublished work, which is if you have more than one, which I did. So Fragmentations is an anthology, a grouping of short stories, and so I actually clicked on a group of unpublished work, but what I believe most people will use is register one work by one author. And just note that this is super important and it is subject to change, so please read it. Do take care. So I click start registration, and over here I write literary work because it's a literary work. The other options are visual art, sound recordings, performance art, or motion picture. I wish I would make a movie, but alas, nobody has allowed me to yet, so if anybody's interested, let me know. Alright, so then type of work literary, click the box to confirm, continue, make sure that you have read so, title your work, I'll say Fragmentations 2. Fragmentations 2, which is a joke, but still, and continue. And then you wait, because waiting is the best part of working with the government website. Has the work been published? In this scenario, I'm going to say no. If you say yes, you may have to submit a hard copy, so do beware of that. And here I'm going to fill out some information, get me some and fake, city of fake. Yep, we'll say that, and then author created. So down here you'll see all the way on the bottom that there is, let me just make this a little smaller for everybody. Over here there is author created, and you have the opportunity to select. So article, novel, essay, poem, short story, nonfiction work, computer program, manuscript, or dissertation. So I'm going to say novel, and I'm going to continue. And This is a limitation. I do not need to exclude any material. Rights and permissions. So here's where, for instance, you could put your publishing company in order to provide a little bit of privacy. And the information accordingly. Continue. So here I'm in the mail certificate component. So it's important to make sure that you put the right address here, because this is where you will receive your certificate of completion. All right, continue, come on. Okay, I don't want any special handling, move forward. So here is my completed submission. And then I click add to cart. So the top line is the single novel and the second line is the set of unpublished works, and they are $45 and $85 respectively. So once you've gotten to the cart, don't panic that you haven't submitted any digital copy yet, because you're not going to be asked for a digital copy until after you pay. And so, as you can see, it kind of shows you an attachment section right down there, and nothing is clickable within that attachment section. And the reason why is because that will have your bits and bobs, your digital copy, once you have paid. So don't panic, panic at the pay if you'd like. But don't panic because you haven't submitted anything yet. Yeah, so don't worry about it. This is how it goes. Okay, so that is a relatively long-winded example of how you would go through the certification of, or rather, online pathway of copywriting. Good luck and good night.